Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad
I
jeans.
see a lot of videos coming out of Moscow of like yuppies dashing to work.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's that contingent. There's they probably exist, but I mean, it's a tiny, like the population of Russia is tiny, right? Like,
it's mostly snow and telephone poles.
I think so. Yeah. And
Guess how many time zones are in Russia?
7.
11 time
Wow.
zones. That's how
It's a
big
lot.
that fucking
It's a
place is.
big fucking place.
It's a big place.
But most of the places that are big, people don't live in. Alaska,
Yep. Canada.
not too many people. Nope. Canada, not too many people. The UP, not too many people up there. It's not that big.
Except for this one guy
Except for this one guy.
who I'm obsessed with. Old time hockey. Do you know this guy?
No, tell me about old time
he's a
hockey.
TikToker.
I'm gonna fiddle. You're gonna hate me, Brendan.
Oh, here he goes, fiddling with the microphone again.
Okay, I got to get it to the right level. Okay, tell me about old time hockey.
Oh.
Old time hockey.
So find a guy, everybody, open your TikTok machines.
Yes.
And find old time hockey, and hockey is spelled HAWKEY. He's this guy. I guess it's ASMR actually.
Okay.
But he's like, hey buddy, tonight we're gonna watch The Sandlot and make a couple of shakes.
What?
And he makes like shakes. He like crushes
That
little
sounds
Debbie
wonderful.
things, and he puts ice cream in them. And he lives in a cabin by himself with a dog in the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
And he also is like a YouTube channel, and he's just the most relaxed. But he's younger than us. I mean, he must be like 38 or something at the most. He might even be 28.
Does he have a beard?
No, he's a big mustache.
Oh, okay.
And a hat, and he plays like an old Sega, like NHL '96, and he's got and he sometimes he takes you on a tour of his little cabin, and he has all these duck toys or duck lamps and things like that, and they all have names and personalities.
Okay.
And he's just the most delightful human being. He'll take you on a walk, and then he'll make this gigantic burger in the middle of the woods, over a campfire. It's amazing.
That's
He's an
that's
amazing
just
guy.
his life.
That's his life.
Does he do anything else?
He just influences.
Wow. I will look this gentleman up. That sounds great.
You'll lose a lot of time.
Okay, old time hockey.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the show notes.
Okay, great.
We never put anything in the show notes.
Are there show notes?
I think so.
What is show notes exactly?
There's a thing. There's the word show notes and a colon after it, and then nothing. That's what our show notes are.
We really have to figure out what happened to our intern.
Yeah, come back, intern. Yeah, he kind of just left with that tribe of banjo players that one night, and we haven't seen him since.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Yeah, it was like poor little Ignatius. He just disappeared into the ether with a bunch of fucking banjo
And I
players.
think over the rags that were being picked, I heard his last words to us be something to the effect of, "My name is Aloysius,"
Oh, geez. Oh, I missed that. Fuck. Well, that's why he hasn't
because
come back.
we called him Ignatius the entire time.
Shit. I just thought he carried around that copy of. Oh fuck! What's it called? I lost it.
St. Elmo's Fire,
No, what was?
the screenplay.
No, what's the Ignatius Riley book?
Oh, St. Ignatius Explains It All for You.
No, I forget. It's the big fat guy who's just a horrible misanthrope, and everyone thinks it's hilarious, and I don't find it that amusing.
Of course, Ship of Fools. No,
Confederacy of Dunces.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. I think that book's overrated. It's no Catch-22.
Catch-22.
That's a funny book.
Catch-22 is barely Catch-22. I mean, the thing itself, Catch-22 is such genius that it vibrates in your hands.
Yes.
He only had one book in him, and that was it.
Yeah, I think he wrote more, but they weren't good.
He wrote, I think, a sequel.
I read another one of his, I believe, that I found at a Goodwill, and it was not that great.
Yeah.
It was not that impressive.
Yeah.
Brendan, do we want to talk a little bit about? You were texting me today, and I was a little bit concerned. I rushed over here with a plate full of hot fudge to shove down your throat.
Is that a euphemism?
A plate full of hot fudge in my pants. No, that's no euphemism. I brought you hot fudge that I've slaved over all day, that I was going to shove down your throat and make you feel better.
Just describing it already works.
That's what my family did instead of chicken noodle soup. They just shove a thing of scalding hot fudge down your throat. That's how we got each other through tough times.
You almost made me snarf my non-alcoholic Heineken.
Oh, that would have been a first.
Yeah.
In non-alcoholic Heineken drinking. But you, I mean, I feel it, man. I feel it. I put down tonight on our outline. The first item I wrote was work ? Does anyone care ? Like, do we talk? Like, what's life like as a pandemic-ridden dad who's working from home? Mm-hmm. We're both experiencing this phenomenon.
Yeah.
You more so than I, because you are all alone
I'm all
in the
alone
world.
In the world.
Emily is off on one of her jaunts again.
Always, as always.
Making a documentary about a tribe of banjo players.
And their fearless leader,
kidnap
Aloysius.
interns. who steal interns from under the noses of podcasters.
I've been thinking about the revelation last week that a group of white men is called a podcast.
Yeah, it's so
and
funny.
That has made me really sad all week.
Yeah, because it's so true. It just nails it.
It just nails it.
Nails it on the head.
It's so sad. We're so useless.
Is that what you're feeling? Like, what are you feeling? You're in your day-to-day life that's bringing you down.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. A lot to contend with. Oh, here's Walt joining us.
A lot of ghosts entering the garage with a squeak.
Mm-hmm. Walty. Hello, buddy. I go through a certain amount of when Emily's gone. I last about a week where I'm like, I got this. I drop Oscar off at school. I clean. I tidy up a little bit. Then I get a little work done. Then I go and pick him up. I make dinner. We read a book. We go to bed.
Yeah.
I can do that 6 times before the crack in the facades starts to appear.
Sure.
And God bless that kid. Take a bullet for him. But he's a tornado.
Yeah.
Like, he just tornadoes through the house.
Yes.
And I just so then I start to feel like the cumulative amount of time that I spend just decluttering and also thinking like I need to make him do this, and I'm like, we're gonna sit down, you're gonna stack up these Pokemon cards that are strewn all over your room.
Yeah.
And if I don't stand there and watch them, they end up in just a kind of a new different pile.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like,
right.
You know,
and now you're feeling like guilty about this, like you're doing something wrong because you're not a perfect dad who's like leading your child through the woods, like to a better future.
Exactly. Making him strong and making him someone who will be a good roommate.
Right.
I was the shittiest roommate to I was a terrible roommate.
Well,
Eventually
maybe
I
it's
realized,
genetic then. Maybe there's nothing you can do.
Well, that's the thing. I really don't want him to inherit certain things of mine. One being a terrible roommate. But that, to me, was a certain amount of narcissism and just like literally being completely unable to inhabit another perspective until I was like 40.
Okay.
And so therefore I ended up, I'll leave dishes in awful. It was awful to live with me. And I only lived mostly with my siblings because no one else could take it. You know
okay.
I mean?
Like, normal people would like they'd come to the interview and they'd be like, I'm gonna check out this other thing that I got going on. It's okay.
Yeah.
And then you see them homeless a couple of weeks later and you're like, it's fine. Right. I'm cool.
And they would come to the interview with a needle hanging out of their arm. And then,
well, yeah, you probably shouldn't have put your listing in Harrowing Times. That maybe was your first mistake.
But they were free. It was free to list. and they'd come and they'd be like, "Look, I just need a room with a door."
Yeah.
But they'd come in and see how I manage things and be like, "No,
sorry, not for me."
Hold on a second, I got to get rid of this animal. 1 second. I had to get Walt out of the room because I didn't want him to hear this.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah, we're gonna disparage his name behind his back, behind his tail.
God bless him. There's a lot to talk about. Actually, that's in my advise me, bro, about Walt.
Oh,
but let me just say,
we have a lot to get through tonight.
Walt is a lot of dog.
Yeah, all dogs are a lot of dog. Yeah. There's no dog that is just like you just let them go and they just kind of do their own thing. That's a cat.
You know what I've noticed since owning a dog, like when I see other dog owners, they all have crazy eyes. All dog owners, like they're like full of concern, and they think their dog is a human.
Yeah,
and they're freaking out all the time about the dog, and I'm like, it's an animal.
Yeah,
but they're like, she really likes it when I cook chicken, so I have to eat all this chicken now, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Can't.
Yeah.
Can't.
So It's a lot. Yeah, dogs are a lot.
Yeah.
Dogs are a lot, and dog owners are a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I like a dog. I love a dog. Like that. This Walt was coming in. That was lovely. Like, I find Walt to be a lovely dog.
He's great,
but it's still
level.
like it's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a fucking beast. I mean, stop humanizing it. I'd be just enough with this humanizing your pets.
Right.
For fuck's sake, man.
Yeah.
They don't have the emotions that you're projecting onto them. They just don't.
Exactly, and they don't know what time is.
Yeah.
And if you if you have a dog, if you're thinking about getting a dog,
Yeah.
you fucking hate 45 minutes of your day, and you want them gone.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
45 minutes, and you can't consolidate it.
Right.
It's spread out.
Sure. And the worst is when they like get sick.
Oh.
And you're just like, the last fucking thing I want to do is clean up dog puke.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. No.
Right?
Yeah.
Or they eat some shit. And you're just like, now I don't have any cookies. And you puked all over the fucking floor. You asshole.
You know what? So every night I get in bed. I finally get
Yes.
Oscar to sleep. I wrestle Oscar to sleep.
Right.
Close the door. I read him some of The Hobbit. Mm-hmm. Close the door.
That's fun.
It is fun. And then it turns out it's a ripping yarn. That guy did not know what a comma was, though. This J.R.R.
Oh, yeah.
J. Railroad Tolkien. That motherfucker.
Josh Railroad Tolkien.
Josh. Jaden.
Yeah. Right. Jaden Railroad Tolkien.
You're trying to read this thing. A comma would be nice so you know where to pause or take a breath
Yeah.
or to put a little caesura. But he just it's all run on. Anyway, whatever. That's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is
Yes.
I finally I put the book down. Bilbo's complaining about the dwarves or whatever.
Sure.
Put the book down. And then I go into bed. I'm like, me time. And I climb into bed.
Yeah.
And Walt, and this is very cute. He has a lot of cute things, but they all have these exchanges. He gets under the bed. I get on the bed and he climbs under the bed to sleep under me or
Sure,
under the bed,
okay.
whatever it is. And then starts farting.
Oh, God. You're like, please, just let me be.
He has a dog bed in the living room.
No.
And he just I'm laying there. I'm like, and dog farts. Have you ever smelled a dog's fart?
I've smelled a nasty fart or two from a dog for sure.
They're sawtoothed evil that splits your head in half.
Oh God! And you're just wallowing in it.
And then I'm just like,
You're like,
in the
this is my life.
in a green swamp.
Yeah, I understand, buddy. I understand where you're coming from there. I just I feel that way. I'm in like work, just like purgatory right now, where I'm like in the midst of two like gigantic projects that each of them demands 100% of my time and energy. And like now you've got all these tools that are just like bling, 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 blinging things at you every day, like all day, every day, like alerts upon alerts about things that I need to respond to, and I've got I've got the alerts that come to my email, and I've got the alerts that come to my Slack, and like they're sometimes the same and sometimes different. And so I have to filter through all this stuff, and our brains were not meant for this kind of like constant like stimulus, like this nonstop go,
Yeah.
It's so hard for me to like just make it through a day. And then at the end of the day, I'm just like, I didn't engage with anyone today. I mean, I have my like work people who I talk to on the computer, which is just like a nightmare, And then I didn't like this is the extent most weeks. This is the extent of my engagement with another human, save for my wife and kids.
Well, that is my gain.
Oh, thank you. And my loss. No.
It's like you're an air traffic controller for other people's petty concerns.
Yeah. And it's just feel, like I said last week, I feel like I might as well be mining for gold in Worlds of Warcraft, because I'm just like, is any of this real? Like, it doesn't even feel real. It's fake.
It's all fake.
Yeah,
it's all
computer world. It's all a bot. There's a bot on the other end of my computer.
Yep.
Who's like compelling me to do things.
Yeah.
I'm its performing monkey. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I often think about the ROI on certain things. Like when I directed a million plays, and then make the odd whatever thing that appears on a screen before you sometimes, right? And I remember this is a very illustrative moment for me. I directed a play the Yale Cabaret summer cabaret thing.
Yeah.
And I thought I did a bang up job, and I worked very hard. And you work on them for a month on a play, and then an audience member will come and view it for a night, right? And it's like an evening of their lives.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to this guy a couple months after I did, and I remember I was walking down the street after this one play. And he called across the street to me and was like, "It was wonderful." And I was like, "Oh, great, thanks."
Yeah.
And then I didn't see him for a couple of months. Then I ran into him in a coffee shop. We got to talking, and I was like, "Oh, I directed, that play that you I think you seemed to like it at the, a couple of months ago." And he's like, "What play was that?"
Oh.
And then I described to him the entire thing, and he sat through it, and it was an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, yeah."
Oh, no.
I don't.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. And I was like, this was in a theater that had all red walls, and it was in a dinner theater. And I asked the chef to make all food that was red, like so it was red food, red walls. All the props were red. Everything was red.
Yeah.
And it was like this, whatever,
Sure.
memorable. I thought at least or something.
one
And I
would
spent
think.
a month on that, and he spent a night on it, and it was just evaporated from him.
Just nothing. It's gone.
Yeah, it's just gone. And then you spend 6 months making a short film that's 15 minutes long. People
Yeah.
watch it, and it is literally every molecule of it is back out of their brain in 20 minutes after they watch it.
I remember everything I watch.
Do you?
Every second of everything I've ever watched. Yeah. Quiz me.
Actually, so do I. Okay, actually, I will quiz you.
Okay.
I was watching Goonies with Oscar. Totally
Okay, I don't
holds up.
remember it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it since I was a
Great.
kid. I've
So-
only seen it like once in the theater when it came out.
I saw it when it came out too.
Yeah.
I took the bus alone to go see it because I was so pumped.
Oh, wow. That you had a Goonies adventure on the way to see Goonies.
I had a Goonies adventure. I took the bus
Wow.
to Brockton from Stoughton.
Of course.
So,
that's where the action was.
there's the actual. So they're
Yeah.
in the Lighthouse Lounge in
Okay.
the basement where Sloth is,
Yes.
is chained up and watching pirate movies.
Yes.
And his older brother, not Joey Pants, but the other guy,
Yeah.
is like throwing food at him and is all mad.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and Chunk is hiding or something like that or watching him. And he comes out and he's always singing opera.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm watching this scene and he comes out the door and he slams it. And what are the first 4 syllables of the Italian opera phrase that he sings?
Oh, everyone knows this. Tagliatelle Parmigiana.
Giardino. You can always say
oregano.
Giardino because that's always going to be one of them.
Yeah, Giardino. Sure. No, what are the first 4 syllables?
Luna Forti, he says.
Okay.
And here's the thing. As I was
that
watching
something I
and he
should
said it, I was
know?
like, Luna Forti. And then he said it. And I was like, holy shit, I just drew that out of 1985.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Well, I don't. I'm sorry that I'm wrong. I don't remember that.
But that's only applies to Goonies for me.
Yeah, just Goonies. I could do that with Ferris Bueller, I guess, but I've just seen it so many times throughout the course of my life. Brendan, I want to mention one thing, and then we'll get into our segments.
Okay.
You talking about your play just reminded me that the other day I was sitting around and thinking about when you and I did that little stage production.
Oh, yes.
In which you performed a recitation. Mm-hmm. Is that what you would call it?
Sure. A recitative.
Sure.
Keeping with the opera thing?
Yes, and I performed music. One idea we had, which we did not enact, and it was a very wise that we did not enact this idea, but it would have been the crowning achievement of either of our lives, is that we really wanted to have people come out completely bottomless and hand the audience members wet wipes to like wipe their hands and pieces of candy.
Oh, that's right.
And that would have been among the most amazing things we'd ever done. And everyone would have fled, and we would have lost a lot of friends.
But so worth it. If they saw
so
all of our
worth it.
junks. Oh, that would have been incredible. I forgot about that. That would have been amazing. Do you know that was 6 years ago?
Gosh. Wow. It seems like yesterday, my friend.
It does seem like yesterday.
I miss Kate, our millennial friend.
Our millennial friend who lives only over there.
Does she really?
Yeah, she moved
Can
to
we have her
Highland Park.
back?
Let's have her back.
Let's see what the millennials
She's
are
not a
up to.
millennial anymore. Now she's a Gen X middle-ager.
She's an ex-millennial?
Just kidding. She's
No.
still a millennial.
You're
'cause I guess
always a
you're
millennial.
You're always a millennial.
Let's move into our segments.
Oh, why don't we move into our segments, Jeffrey?
Our first segment, Brendan, I have nothing for. This is all yours.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's a little segment called Advise Me, Bro.
Advise me, bro.
Advise me, bro.
'cause I just gotta know. I got a motherfucking problem, and you gotta show. Advise me, bro.
How do I advise you?
Jesus.
I feel like I already have. I've been advising you already.
You have. You've been doing a wonderful bang-up
Thank
job
you.
also.
I haven't really, but thank you.
Jeff.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Dig, if you will.
Okay.
This Sunday.
Give me dig, if you will, this Sunday in the park with George. That's a famous.
Mandy Patinkin strikes
Yes.
curious poses. Actually, this is about animal striking curious poses.
I could do a whole episode about the brilliance of the lyric "Animals strike curious poses."
I have been thinking about that lyric
It's such
all
a
day today.
gorgeous lyric. It's just like,
What?
yeah, of you and I engaged in a kiss. When did the animals come into the story?
Animals are just watching, like, what?
Yeah, but that's it. It feels like that. You're just like, oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see the picture. I dig this picture. I
Yeah.
dig this picture, Prince. You put it in my head.
Like they're kissing, and a zebra walks by, and the zebra's like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah.
Sticking it to throwing elbows.
Like poses you would never expect a zebra could even make.
Exactly. Or fetlux. I guess.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this is it's terrible. So speaking of Walt is sort of the star of the show this week.
This asshole out here.
I need your advice about something.
Yes.
So Walt and I take Walt to throw the ball for him on the alley, which is there's an apartment next door to the house, and next to that is an alley.
Okay.
On the downstairs are both dog owners. It's dog owners all the way up the block.
Yeah, as
We're
far
no
as
different.
far as your eye can see,
It's
that's LA is just
all the way
one
down.
giant dog after another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have this dog. There's a young couple. They have a dog. It's a greyhound. Not greyhound. What are those huge ones? Great Dane puppy. Adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another guy who also lives on their floor who has a giant 80-pound bulldog that I've only ever
okay.
seen in the backyard. I've
Okay.
never seen the front yard. I've never seen him. I think Walt and he barked at each other a little bit through the fence when we first got home.
Got it.
And anyway, so I'm coming through. So I'm throwing the ball for Walt a little bit, and then we're going to go off and have bagels with this other couple that has a 6-year-old kid or 8-year-old kid. And
Okay.
it's going to be great. And I haven't seen him in a while. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I just have to that's about it. I'm chatting with the young couple. We're slowly becoming friends. And I'm like, okay, Walt, we're going to walk back to the house. I'm not going to put you in the leash because we only have to go 30 feet. And I can always make you do what I want by holding a ball out. So I'm holding the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, here you go, Walt, here, Walt. And he's looking at the ball and he's walking with me.
Yeah.
But out of the corner of my eye, I see the other dog owner with the 80-pound bulldog open his front door with the 80-pound bulldog.
Okay.
And the Great Dane runs over and like jumps all over the bulldog and stuff, and their leashes get tangled.
Okay.
And then I'm like, oh,
Wait,
shit.
the Great Dane. Okay, this is the third dog.
Oh, yeah, there's a third dog. So there are two
Okay.
dogs, and they're inside this fence of the house.
Okay.
This is like a long fence, but it has wide poles in the fence or whatever.
Okay.
So anyway, so there's the Great Dane dog that's next door, and I'm talking to the owner of the Great Dane dog. Then there's the owner of the bulldog.
Right,
And so
okay,
we
got
always
it.
interact with the Great Dane owners. But the bulldog owner comes out with his bulldog, and the Great Dane jumps all over the bulldog. Their leashes get tangled.
Because they're friends?
Because they're friends. The Great Dane's this hilarious thing that everybody who couldn't love, except Walt nips at her, and I'm like, Walt, you fucking asshole! Like he like bites at her nose all the time. I'm like, come on, man,
Right.
Let's all be
Not
friends.
cool. Not cool,
because he's a
Walt.
little bit aggressive. He gets attacked. Here's the thing about Walt.
Yeah.
He gets attacked by other dogs all the time, and I have not been able to figure out why. He has this sort of like fuck you energy or something like that.
Interesting.
Or like bro cock of the walk thing. Other dogs really don't like him, and he ignores other dogs. Like he just wants to play fetch. He's a machine, you know.
Okay.
So I say all this. I should preface all this with how much I love this dog. I love Walt.
Sure.
But I have to describe him in honest terms to tell this story. So I'm like, oh shit, I don't have Walt on the leash. That's a bulldog. Walt can be aggressive, especially through this fence. This is going to be ugly. And I'm like, Walt, and I get like more intense with the ball. But instantly, this happens in 1/4 of a second. This is the part I pieced later. I did not see. The guy with the bulldog usually has him on a leash.
Okay.
His name is Andy, the guy with the he usually has him on a leash and has him on a very tight leash because he's a fucking large bulldog. This is not one of these coffee table bulldogs. This is like a fucking trash can bulldog. Like a
Okay.
big macho kind.
Got it.
Big like hiked pickup truck bulldog.
Sure.
And
Muscular.
muscular.
Yeah.
And So so what I didn't see is that because the Great Dane had jumped all over him, their leashes got tangled. So the owner of the bulldog had to de-click or I'm struggling for words. He unhooked.
Took the leash off.
Took the leash off.
Yeah.
Took the leash off the bulldog. Just as we were walking by, Walt sees him. Bulldog sees Walt.
Yeah.
And in a quarter of a second,
Yeah.
in a flash, instant, the bulldog has Walt's neck in his mouth.
Oh my goodness! Wait, through the fence?
Through the fence, like the Walt came. I'm sure, like lunged at him. He lunged at Walt and just got a good amount of his.
And
neck.
there's a big enough hole in the fence that the bulldog can stick his head through it.
Yeah, it's like 6 inches wide, or he can get his snout through at least.
Got it. Okay.
This is an amazing. The bulldog did an amazing, it was an amazing feat.
Yeah,
of,
this
of
is
aim
Jaws,
and
the
timing.
Jaws of bulldogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing, what bulldogs do is they don't just bite and fight; they clamp and don't let go.
Okay.
So he clamped down on
my
Walt's
gosh.
neck.
Oh
and
my
it
gosh.
was fucking horrible.
Oh my gosh.
And he wouldn't let go. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I freaked out. Time stopped. The owner of the bulldog had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And so I was, and we were trying to pull the dogs apart, and it was getting awful. Like Walt was yelping and yelping, and it was terrible. And eventually gets Walt's head through the fence, and I'm pulling back, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like I was screaming, I was getting all emotional and like screaming at the guy.
Sure.
And he wasn't doing anything, so I was like, "Try something else!
Right.
Like try anything." I was like,
Whack it with a lead pipe. Do something.
Well,
yeah.
the owner of the Great Dane, meanwhile, ran into his house and got like some water and dumped it on the dog, but that didn't do anything, and he kept doing that. And I was yelling at the guy like, grab his
like
back legs.
This is a long amount of time that this is happening.
It was 2 actual minutes.
Oh God.
It wasn't one of these 5-second things. Like, no, it went on a long time. I'm screaming. The neighbors are coming out of their house to see who's screaming and why.
Yeah.
And
the dogs are both like yelping and screaming and
well, Walt is, but the bulldog's just standing there and it's just like pure
I got
evil.
a taste of flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so finally, I get my foot through the fence and kick the fucking bulldog in the face. And
Nicely done.
Let's go. Oh, but before that happens, I'm like reaching in there and I'm trying to get Walt's like neck meat out of the dog's mouth, and Walt is meanwhile trying to defend himself.
Yeah.
And Walt bit me twice on the thumb.
Oh God.
Really hard.
Oh, Walt bit you.
Walt bit me. Thank God.
The bulldog didn't bite you.
No. The bulldog was not letting go of Walt.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So Walt ripped my thumb open.
Oh
and
my
also,
God.
He also like one of his like incisor teeth punctured the pad of my thumb.
Oh,
like,
holy cow.
Stabbed the
Ouch.
pad of my thumb directly into it.
Ow.
And then ripped the side, and there's all this blood under my fingernail and stuff.
Were you freaking out? Like
I was freaking out. And
Yeah.
my hand is covered in blood.
Yeah.
And I like finally get Walt out, and Walt is like, and he runs back into the house, and I run back into the house, and Oscar was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, Oscar was with you this whole time.
No, thank God he didn't see it, but he heard me screaming.
The horribleness.
He heard the horribleness, and then I come in, and my hand is covered in blood, and I'm in an insane amount of pain because
oh my
it's like
God,
a fucking
and you don't know what
puncture
happened.
wound.
He could have you could have lost your thumb for all you know.
I could, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and I couldn't feel my thumb, and it wasn't bending. Like, it was all
Holy-
numb.
ow.
And it was all,
Ow.
and it was covered in like dog hair and
Ow.
red, and I couldn't see how many wounds there were. And so then I have to throw Walt and Oscar in the car. I have to go to the hospital. Walt has to go to the vet.
Yeah.
Walt goes under, has surgery, has his neck was. When I came back, I
torn open?
lifted Walt's flat scruff, and his neck was torn open.
Oh no!
Torn like
oh my
it's like
God.
a 3.5-inch gash.
Oh my God!
It was so he goes to the hospital. He's put under, and they surgery and stuff like that.
Before you continue, what's going on with this bulldog owner? Like, was he just like Mr. like was he just like shrug his shoulders and like, good luck out there, buddy?
It's funny you should ask, because that's exactly what the Advise Me Bro is about.
Okay. Oh,
That's
okay.
exactly it.
Yes. Okay, but keep going. We need to hear the end of this tragedy.
So, and I go to the doctor, and they like irrigate my wounds, which is very painful.
What kind of doctor did you go to?
Urgent care at Kaiser.
Okay.
And they they put all that brown liquid and was like shooting it into the cuts, and the puncture wound is a circle, the shape of it's like the width of a tooth, width and diameter.
Yeah.
And that one has all these like thumb brains poking out of it, like and had for all week just like this
viscera.
protruding viscera coming out of it.
Oh,
and
gross.
I was like, all right, well, I guess you're gonna have to sew me up, right? I don't know how I posed this exactly, but I was like, do I need stitches? I mean, I definitely needed stitches looking at my thumb. And he was like, you do, but we don't sew up dog bites because. And I was like, what?
You could trap the particulates
That's exactly
inside
right.
your thumb?
Yeah, their teeth shove so much garbage into your system that it would sew in a bunch of bacteria. So you have to give the body, which is probably why it's happy that my thumb was hanging a brain all week.
Yeah.
Because it needed to get a bunch of shit out. And so instead they're like Band-Aids and antibiotics.
Wow.
And you're going to have some ugly fucking scars.
Oh my God.
So, and I can't so it's just these two Band-Aids, right? So it looks like, I cut myself, I was cooking. But no, I was fucking bitten twice.
Oh my God.
And so I just
Will you retain like full movement of it eventually?
Oh, yeah. No, it's fine. Oh, I didn't break any, I thought I'd broken a bone, but I didn't break anything.
Right.
So it's just, it was just nasty, very deep, like punctures.
Oh my God.
So,
I'm sorry that happened. That sounds painful and scary.
Horrible.
Wow. Okay.
And it was so bad that it didn't really hurt that bad for a couple days.
Okay.
And so I was like, I think I'm fine. And then today, suddenly, the lightning bolts happened where I think the nerves were like, coming back online, everybody, get ready.
Oh, gosh.
So, because it was horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, and Walt is like sewn up and he had a drain in his neck.
my God.
We just had it taken out today. So he had this like rubber straw hanging from his neck.
I mean, he doesn't have any he has nothing going on. Like it's just like he looks like a normal old dog.
Right. He has that. You see his turtleneck?
I didn't notice. No.
Oh yeah, he has a bandage around his neck.
Okay.
And he's all he's sewn up and stuff. Brutal. And he's all shaved and confused and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well,
and he is like
he's
12.
frisky. He looks happy.
He's very frisky. That's never been his problem.
Yeah.
He is 12% crazier than he was before Sunday.
Oh,
morning.
really?
Yeah.
Something snaps.
And he was already a fucking certified psychopath.
Sure. But he was a happy psychopath. Now he's a
just
vengeful psychopath.
It's just very urgent. It's urgently pacing all the time.
Yeah. Because who knows when the next attack might happen.
Yeah.
It's like living in a war zone.
Yeah, exactly.
And he hears that bulldog's voice across over the fence.
And he can smell his own flesh on the bulldog's teeth through the fence.
Yeah, that bulldog is still licking his chops.
Yeah, and it's like,
okay, so how can I advise you?
Okay.
You need to know how to deal with this neighbor.
So the neighbor has been a complete no-show.
Okay.
I kept expecting there'd be a note in my mailbox or he'd come by to be like, hey, how are you? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like zero.
Huh.
And so the other day I wrote him a note along a 2-page note that I'm like, hey, this happened to me. I actually have it right here. I could read it to you because I put it in his mailbox. It sat there for 2 hours and then I went and I got it back and I took it out.
Okay.
Because here's the
Probably
thing.
Smart. Yeah.
Because
You don't need to approach him.
I mean, well, but
Okay. You did kick his dog in the face.
no, I actually smushed his dog off of my dog with the bottom of my foot. I didn't actually kick him.
Okay.
I just kind of mushed him off.
Okay.
With
Someone needed to do that.
and someone needed to. I was like, fucking kick your dog in the head for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But he wasn't doing it. So then the big question everyone I've talked to is like, he has to pay because this cost $1,700.
Oh my Jesus Christ! Really?
Yeah,
Holy fuck!
$100 for me and $1,600 for Walt.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Shit.
So it's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And he
Wow.
and we had an old dog, Leica, that did this to another dog. I don't know the circumstances before I met Emily, but Emily that family was bullshit at Emily, and she went with them anyway to the vet, stayed with them,
Yeah.
and
'Cause
paid.
she's a decent human.
Yeah, they were glaring at her the entire time, and
Yeah.
she just sat there in the waiting room with them the entire time.
Wow.
And then paid the full bill.
Wow.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah.
There's a code.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course.
So the question is this guy culpable for this?
Yeah.
And the obvious answer would be yes, except for one detail.
Did a detail you left out?
Not that I left out, but is sort of one of these Sherlock Holmes things. You had to be listening carefully.
Okay.
Walt was not on a leash.
Ah. Okay.
And
would that have made a difference, though?
if Walt had been on a leash,
You would have jerked him away from the...
I would have had, even if it still happened exactly the same way, and it actually would have. Like,
Yeah.
if he had been on it's completely arbitrary that he wasn't, because Walt ran kind of like next to my legs to get at this other dog. So he
Okay.
would have had the slack to get into this scrape in the first place. So it's immaterial on that level.
Yeah.
However, because he wasn't on the leash and I didn't have control of him,
Yeah.
on like a human sidewalk, I think, therefore, this is just bad luck.
I feel like you may want to delete this part from the podcast because you might end up in small claims court. Like, this is exactly
Right.
what small claims court is for, right?
Oh, right, exactly. Except I don't want to sue this guy. I mean, he lives next door.
Of course,
He's
no
a
one wants
renter.
to sue anyone ever.
We're
but
homeowners.
$1,700, man.
Yeah.
That is a pretty penny.
It is.
To have to pay out of your pocket for someone else's asshole dog's behavior.
Right, right.
But I don't know what the law is. Like,
And
have
he
you looked at
chose-
the law?
No.
Like, I would think anytime a dog attacks another dog, like, that's the attackee's fault.
You would think, right? Unless it's like if two dogs go at it and one just like wins,
Right.
then it might be like, well, both dogs decided to fight each other,
Right.
and one dog was stronger, and the other dog is stupid.
Do you think he would know that Walt was off leash?
I don't remember. I don't know. I
Yeah.
have no idea, because they're the two witnesses who own the Great Dane.
Right.
But
Okay.
I talked to him, and they seem to be like, let's not have any conflict. Like, I went over there to drop off this thing, and I started talking to the guy.
Yeah.
And he was, and the husband, the Great Dane owner guy, was like, yeah, two dogs when they have a little bit of aggression. Yeah, boy, oh boy, huh?
Oh no. Oh geez. So he's not going to back you up.
He's not on Team Walt. His next door neighbor is the one, so having witnesses won't necessarily help. But I don't have a fight like this in me where
Yeah.
where I have to like make it nasty with a fucking
No,
next door neighbor.
of
Like, I'm
course.
so not into that. So I wrote him this note, and I was like, and I asked him for the 1,700, and then I was like, no, fuck, I can't, because it's not fair. It's not exactly fair, because Walt is aggressive with other dogs. Like, he'll like lunge at
Yeah,
other dogs.
right.
So Walt doesn't have Walt has a checkered past.
Yeah.
And so therefore I can't say like this is all the bulldog's fault.
Right.
But I would like him to fucking help out, because I
Just
did
to
also
acknowledge you.
An
I mean,
acknowledgement
it sounds like
anyway.
we want that more than the money.
Yeah.
You want like him to be a human being and be like, "Hey man, are you okay?"
That would be awesome.
Right?
Right. But he let's just say this.
Yeah, what's his
Let's just say
flavor
this.
profile?
His flavor profile is he drives a pickup truck,
Okay.
and he owns a fucking large bulldog.
Okay.
And so I didn't force him to be like, I want a macho dog because I want this to be my image or whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But that's what he did.
Is he like rednecky?
No. Construction-y?
Construction-y, I see. Okay. So he's got an opinion of you.
Right. We drive a fucking Prius.
Yeah.
And we moved into this cute little bungalow next to his apartment building.
Right.
And we are homeowners, and he is a renter.
Yeah.
And so I am very cognizant of all of these differences. And also we are, colonizers.
Yeah.
So-
that is tough. I don't know how to parse that. I would say this, if I were in your shoes, I would, my wife would handle it all. And that's like sometimes the best way that you can go about doing things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just let your wife handle it.
That's pretty good. Actually, that would make a lot of sense,
And
because
Emily would be very good at that.
she would be very good, because she comes off as very confident as a human being.
Yeah.
And and his only move, like when I dropped off this letter, I knew his only move. He doesn't have $1,700 extra lying around.
Sure.
And although he must be paying like $3,000 in rent over there. But in any case,
You never know.
you never know.
Could be grandfathered in.
Could be. He wasn't there when we moved. I think he moved in over the summer,
Oh, okay.
but I could be wrong about that.
Who moves at Eagle Rock? Come on, yeah, he's got
Yeah,
money.
Only like families.
Guys in construction have way more than we do.
Yeah, that's true.
What are we looking down upon this guy for? Like that
He's
guy's
a lot
loaded.
more- yeah, that's true. If he's doing like contracting work.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and those trucks cost $50,000.
Yeah, sell your truck. For fuck's sake, pay for my thumb.
I know. Oh, yeah,
the
and I
gift
can't,
of
like-
the Magi. I lost my thumb to buy you a truck.
I sold my truck to
I
get you a new thumb.
sold my driver's license to get you a new.
Yeah.
Sorry,
these
go ahead.
fucking, so I don't. So I feel all sorts of like, is there guilt? Is there something like whatever it is? I want everyone listening is like, Brendan, just go get your fucking money, pussy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that I hear you. It's a difficult situation. But is that like also another thing? Is there a little bit of shame? Like you're feeling like, am I a man? Am I a man if I don't extract $1,700 from this motherfucker?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, now there is.
Well, that's all I was thinking when you were telling me the story.
Well, it's so the thing is, I left this note for him,
Yeah.
and his only course of action, if he's not willing to part with $1,700, and fucking who is,
sure.
is to be suddenly all mean and aggressive to me, just like his fucking bulldog was to Walt.
Yes.
Like bite my neck, basically.
Right.
Like he'd be like, fuck you fuck, and start to intimidate me and get his boys to come.
Sure.
And like put their glasses on their foreheads instead of their eyes and,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, we heard you had a problem with my friend. You know what I mean? It's and that kind of stuff. So
I don't
I'm
know
not
if that's
going to
happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. I got more confidence in this guy being a regular Joe. I think people are. I think it's rare that you will encounter someone who truly goes to like that level of aggression, like when you're giving them a sincere request. I feel like a face-to-face conversation, people don't often fly off the handle.
That's true. God, you mean I have to do this face to face? I can't do that.
It's tough. It's tough. Well, dude, let's hear the letter.
Okay.
Let's hear the condensed version.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew. It's Brendan from next door. Boy, that was crazy on Sunday morning.
Okay.
I hope you're feeling okay.
Already. I'm like, I'm not giving this fucker a dime
Exactly.
if I'm reading this letter.
I am such a pussy.
Boy, was this crazy. I'm like throwing the fire.
I hope you're feeling okay and didn't somehow get hurt.
Oh, jeez.
I kind of
You
lost
don't
my
care.
cool during the altercation. Sorry about that. That's my opening.
Jeez. Oh, Brendan.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no.
terrible. I've been in your position before. We had an old dog before Walt that attacked another dog. It was awful, and the other owner was not cool about it. So I resolved to be cool if I was ever in their position.
Yes.
That must have really been hard and scary for you. So please know that I know how you feel. I mean, dogs are dogs, you know?
Wow, Brendan. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so
are you sure you want to read this?
Now I'm
any deeper?
wading. I'm putting a toe in the water in the next paragraph.
Okay.
I'm
This
ready.
is a clear manipulation. If this guy is not an idiot, he will be like, "What's this guy want from me?"
I'm ready.
Be like write him a fucking post-it note that says, "Give me my money."
Right, yeah, or just
That's what
figure.
that's what the letter needs to be.
$1,700.
Yeah. Okay.
and my Cash App.
Sorry, keep going.
Okay.
Let's keep going with this.
I'm writing to ask you for help. First, it would be great if you could put up some sort of covering on your fence that's high enough so your dog won't see Walt when we walk by.
Okay.
Second, and this is the part that sucks, Walt had to have surgery to sew up the gash in his neck.
Yeah.
I talked the vet out of the extras, but it still dinged us pretty bad.
Yeah.
I also got bitten twice on the thumb and had to go to urgent care for irrigation and antibiotics. The cost for all of this is around $1,700. Only $100 for me because it's just my copay. Walt's care was around $16 though,
Okay.
which is an insane amount of money. If his neck hadn't been fully ripped, I might not even have gone if it was going to heal on its own. It
Right.
sucks to get a note like this. It sucks to get a note like this, believe me, I know. When my old dog did this to that other dog, we paid for the whole thing. Felt like it was the dog owner code. We're hoping you will be willing to do the same. And then my phone is dead, won't take a charge, but you can still text, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, see, what's this complication you're throwing in at the end there? Now he not only has to give you $1,700, he has to figure out how to communicate with you.
Yeah. Well, you can still text me.
Just say, you can be like, just like tie your answer to this pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
And send it over the fence.
This dead pigeon and just drop it on the other side
That's
of the
what
fence.
that's what he'd do. He'd just wrap a note around a dead pigeon that said "fuck you" and throw it in your yard. That's what he'd do.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
the avocado tree
Yeah.
that is over our fence,
Yeah.
that is over our yard, is
Right.
rooted in their yard. So I could see this escalating where he cuts down the avocado tree because he knows we love it so much.
Oh, that's interesting. Is there? But it's their yard in a apartment complex.
Yeah,
Does it belong to everyone, or is it his specific yard?
it belongs to everyone.
Okay, well then, yeah, he's not going to cut down the avocado tree. Don't worry about that.
Okay, hopefully not.
You get free avocados out of it.
I sure do.
You can make money on avocados. You could sell those avocados and make $1,700.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. People like avocados. I don't know, man. This is tough. That's a tough situation. I think you probably made a wise move repealing that note.
Yep.
Because it's just, there are certain things that like I feel like when you deal with them, you just have to cut to the fucking chase.
Yeah, and not beat around the bush like I was doing.
Yeah, you don't
want to not be like.
You don't want to beat around the bush. You just got to be like hard. This is a bottom line. Like this is a business transaction that you and I are engaged in.
You're saying I was all Noe Valley and I should have been Bakersfield.
Sure. Yeah, I guess so. I don't really know what that means, but I'm sure. Devin Nunes, is that
no? Yeah,
who you're
Noe
emulating?
Valley is that neighborhood in San Francisco, very Tony neighborhood in San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't know
and
Noe Valley.
Bakersfield is just a fucking hellscape of sorrow.
Yeah, well, yeah, be the hellscape of sorrow.
Yeah.
I don't want to. This isn't a writing critique that I'm engaging in here, Brendan. But I don't know, man. I think you definitely need to connect with him about it. Like you can't just because now like you're worried about like ruining a relationship between a neighbor. Like it's if it's in this state, it's never going to be. This is a horrible state to be in, this state of unknowing.
Right.
Like, in 5 years, you're going to be like, hey, guy, how you doing, man? Oh, like, it's just going to be water under the bridge. Like, it's going to be festering for your entire life.
Exactly.
If you don't communicate about this.
And because I haven't communicated, he might be waiting to hear from a lawyer. He certainly could. I mean, I could certainly sue him if I wanted to, but I'm not that person.
Yeah. No, he could be. That's actually a good idea, is to ask for a lawyer's advice. Do you know any lawyers?
I have an entertainment lawyer.
Okay. Talk to that person.
Do you think he does dog attack law?
He would have some idea. Like that's all I'm saying, because it is that like $700 is a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
Like I know you can be like, yeah, it's my dog. Dogs cost money. You gotta pay for them. But like it's a real thing. You can't just fucking blow that off.
No. I know. And
can't just blow that off.
He didn't do, and he just like didn't do anything. He just stood there and kind of like
that's
gently
fucked.
tugged on the leash. And
That's
I was
fucked.
So I was like, do something. Like I was yelling at him, do something.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing anything.
You know what? His entire life, everyone has yelled that at him. This guy. His mom yelled that at him. His wife yells that at him.
Did I ever tell you about the meanest thing
boss.
that was ever said from one person to another?
No, tell me.
I won't name these people, but one friend of mine was at a wedding in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
And
Clint Eastwood probably was there.
It was no. And he dropped his phone in the ocean.
Oh.
And his ex roommate, who runs like 3 TV shows.
Yeah.
And is just this was a very controversial figure in grad school. Was standing next to him, and he saw him do it, and he turned to him and he's like, "Blank, you've been dropping that phone in the ocean your entire life."
Wow.
That's the meanest thing anyone's ever said.
That's a very that's like a Whit Stillman movie or something. You like these people are Tony. These
Yes.
fellows that you're encountering here.
Right, I know. And the one who dropped the phone in the ocean has been struggling, trying to make it, still trying to make it. And the other one was born wealthy and is unbelievably successful in Hollywood.
Of course.
And he's the one that said it to the other guy.
Yeah, because you're not born with money, you're born with confidence. That's what you're born with.
Oh, snap.
Can we move on?
Yes.
I don't think I answered your question.
I think I need to. No, you did. I need to write a different note or just be in touch with him somehow and be like, "Hey, so this cost me $1,700.
Yeah,
that's a lot. It's unclear, of course. This was nobody's fault, but because dogs are dogs. But it fucking happened.
Yeah,
and your dog is huge, and no one made you buy that big a fucking dog.
Sure.
And you didn't have control of it, and it ripped my dog in half.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's fair. So how
about halvesies?
You can do that in a non-accusatory way without like being, also like submissive.
Yeah, it's the dog thing all over again. Now he and I are dogs.
But this is just remember, you are writing a $1,700 letter.
Oh, okay.
Put that in your head. Write a $1,700 letter and spend the time with it.
Thank you.
To craft it.
Okay. That's
Okay.
good. I like it.
Let's move on to one toe in the cool.
One toe.
You put your one toe in, then leave it in. You're done.
Brendan,
Jeff.
I have gotten back out into the world.
Oh, how
I'm
did you
doing
do it?
things. I'm doing things.
How? How did you pull that off?
Well, this is because that big fight I had a couple of weeks ago with my wife is like, you need support networks. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna fucking leave. I'm just gonna go do shit now. Like that's
nice.
Is that what we're talking about here?
Wow.
And so I've been doing things.
So your support network is at the bottom of a rocks glass at the local pub.
Exactly. Yes. My support network's first name is Jim and last name is Beam.
Oh, this is the lead singer of Iron and Wine.
Yeah, exactly. And pus and maggots or whatever we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
So last Saturday night, this is actually, I didn't escape my family to do this, but my family, my mother-in-law was in town and we all went to see my family, Julia's family, my sister-in-law's family, and my family, including the children, all went to the Hollywood Bowl to see a music performance.
You don't say.
I do say.
Oh.
I said.
You just said it.
I said.
Who was performing?
To whom was the performance?
That would be you guys.
To be, yes, of course. No, it was the headliner was Brittany Howard.
Oh,
which
I
is who
wanted
we
to
went
see that show.
You know Brittany Howard?
Of course.
From the Alabama Shakes.
Yeah, man.
And she was smoking. She
She's
was
so
just
good.
fire. She's got like Prince soul.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, ooh,
She
yeah.
was very special.
Very, very. That was awesome. We had to wade through two opening acts, which were not my cup of tea.
Oh.
You know, the Hollywood Bowl, you're just kind of trapped there until the headliner goes on. The nice thing about the Hollywood Bowl is that they're very punctual. So you always know that you're done after like 30 minutes, you know.
I've only had
for the
very good
openers.
luck with openers at the Hollywood Bowl.
To date, I'd had pretty good luck. This was not one of their finer lineups. To me, I appreciated the first artist was a jazz artist, and they decided to improvise their entire set. Yeah.
Jazz Odyssey.
It was a jazz. It was literally a jazz odyssey. And my kids were just like never seen live music before. They're just like, is this live music? Like literally the first act you ever see is an improvised jazz performance.
Oh, God.
I'm just like, I hope this doesn't ruin your entire lives.
Did they have the thumb down just like in Spinal Tap?
That's, yeah.
Sitting with their thumb down.
Totally. Yeah. They were like, when's the puppet show start? So that was, and then the middle singer was fine, but she was kind of just like a Beyonce-esque, like sort of like soul hip hop, like merger, but like sort of like B second stringer, I would say.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was not that blown away. But then Brittany Howard just blew them all away. But then, of course, by that time, the kids have waded through like two, mediocre acts.
Yeah.
And they're getting a little antsy. Although I will say, when we left, Hazel was like, I would totally stay. Like I would be willing to stay. So they were turned around. They enjoyed Brittany Howard.
Nice.
So that was cool. It was good to get to a show. The Hollywood Bowl is just it's like, I love the idea of it. I love the theory of the Hollywood Bowl. Mm-hmm. I love being inside the Hollywood Bowl. Mm-hmm. The process of getting there and of leaving there are bad.
Especially leaving. Did you park on the hillside?
No, we parked in we didn't do the stack parking. We learned our lesson on that one long ago.
Yeah.
No, we parked at the bottom of the hill and walked up. So we were
Bottom of the hill. Where? Somewhere in Highland, just on Highland?
Yeah, there's at the corner there. There's like that church, the gay friendly church.
Oh yeah.
They have a parking lot. It's $25.
Oh, way down there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then we just walk up the hill.
I lived. You know where I lived? I lived on the hill opposite the Hollywood Bowl, and I never went. while I
Oh,
lived
wow.
there. I
Oh,
would
wow.
walk there during the day, and you can walk around the
Sure.
scenes. But I never went to see a show.
But could you hear it? Could you just
Yeah.
like sit on your back porch and listen?
Oh, I used to sit in my hot tub and listen to Paul McCartney.
Oh, see, that's awesome.
That was pretty
That's
great.
awesome. That's all you need. Because I mean, you might as well be watching it on TV anyway when you're at the Hollywood Bowl.
That's
you know?
true.
You're not going to be unless you're up in the front row. You're not going to see that much. But that was fun. It was fun to take the kids out. I was glad to get them to experience a little live music. And then last night I went to a show in your old stomping grounds, Highland Park.
Great town.
In this crazy venue. It's like an old church or something.
I know exactly where you were.
The E-Bell. Have you been there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've rollerbladed by.
Oh, okay. Yeah, weird little place. And I saw this Austin band that I quite like called A Giant Dog. And it was, they were smoking hot. It was awesome to see some like real rock and roll.
Fuck
And it
yeah.
was this tiny venue. It probably held like 200 people. There were probably 50 people there.
Oh my God.
It was, you had to show your vaccine card at the door. So they were,
As it should
they
be.
were nice and safe. Everyone was masked. The opening act was literally the loudest band I've ever heard in my entire life. Like I was screaming at Jay at the top of my, I went with our friend Jay.
Oh, yeah.
I was screaming at him at the top of my lungs. He was screaming back at me. We could not hear a word of it.
Jesus.
It was insanely loud. I didn't really enjoy that much. I got to say I'm too old for it. So I went outside.
Oh,
and-
I would have noped the fuck out of that.
yeah, I noped that one. But you've got the whole ear thing too. You probably
don't
would
get me
have
started.
spiraled. General Meneers would have paid you a visit.
Mm-hmm.
But the opening act was so awesome. And I just like for the first time in like Jay was like, I'm just going to stand up at the front. And so he just like went up right in front of the stage and like, there weren't that many people there. So he's like, come on, just come up here. And I was like, I usually hang back at concerts, but I was like, all right, fuck it. Yeah. I'll just go and stand up right in front of the stage. And
Yeah,
so
man.
we're just like the singers like singing directly to us and we were like dancing up a storm.
Oh, right.
And I was like, oh, this feels good. Feels good. Rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen.
Get a load
it's
of this
still
guy.
alive.
Yes.
It's still fucking alive in Highland Park.
You need a divorced friend. 'Cause
Oh, yes.
they are still going to rock shows and they can
Yes.
bring you to the things and they know what's going on.
Yes. And he's the one who on Monday when I saw this act was playing, I said, hey, we got to go to the show. And he was like, okay, I'm getting tickets. And any other friend, I would have said, we got to go to the show. And he would have said, sure. And then the next day we would have said, are you buying the tickets? And I would have said, oh, I thought maybe you would. And then it would have been like, no, let's just not go.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, but Jay's just like, okay, I got tickets, and then I'm locked in, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to a show.
Yeah, throw your hat over the wall and then you
did.
have to get your hat back.
I threw my dead pigeon over the wall,
then you got to get that dead
wrapped
pigeon
around
back.
your letter, which I
Gotta
was
have lunch.
upset with. So gotta have lunch. You eating pigeons now? Is that?
Things have become difficult.
Yeah, it's you move into Eagle Rock, you gotta pay a little bit extra
Yeah,
to live.
it's going into the mortgage.
You're so close to Sprouts. That's nice.
It is nice. 5 blocks away. It's very short rollerblade.
I only recently, when I started when I did the whole 30 diet, I never understood the purpose of Sprouts. It always seemed like kind of like a shittier Whole Foods and Trader Joe's
And it
combined.
is. That's
yeah.
true.
But like on the whole 30 diet, like you have to buy all this weird shit like ghee and like coconut aminos for your cooking, and Sprouts had everything I needed.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect for the whole 30 diet.
It is stuff white people like the store.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But like stuff, but like kind of like just like low end, like that, like Whole Foods is that.
Oh yeah,
But like it's like that, like stuff white people can afford is like what Sprouts is.
right. Yeah, exactly.
So that's my one toe in the cool, Brendan. What do you got?
that's
What'd you do
fantastic.
that was cool?
I had a birthday. I turned another age this week.
Oh yeah, happy.
Thank you. I turned a certain age,
Oh yeah,
and
a distinguished age.
a distinguished
I
age.
see it in
The
in your face.
The first age that really doesn't matter. I say this every year, but this is the age where you stop keeping track.
Right. Until 2 years from now, in which case you're
Right. 3.
at that time.
Mind you.
Oh, okay.
I am 47.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
be. Yeah, but yeah, at this point you only have birthdays every 5 years
Right.
from this point forward.
Smart.
And here's what. So, but my wife,
Yeah.
and my child,
Yeah.
I got 2 things.
Yeah.
Speaking of board games, last week
Okay.
I got Gloomhaven.
Ooh, really?
Yeah,
Isn't that
baby.
the $100 game?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
my mother-in-law bought it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, can we play it?
Yes.
Will you play it with me? Will
Uh-huh.
you teach me how to play it?
Fuck yeah.
I've always been curious.
Will you teach me how to Dougie?
I will. I'll teach you how to whip a nene as well.
It is great. Yeah, I'm learning with Oscar right now.
Wow.
We've already spent 2 days just figuring out what all the decks are and the cards and the setting everything
I
up.
love it. All the
It's
pieces.
insane.
There's like tons of pieces.
And
Is
the
it a
thing-
giant board?
It's giant,
Massive.
and it's all these different. It's just a million different things. And the thing is, you only play the game once all the way through,
Oh, really?
and it's over. But there are like
But
95 different
it
campaigns.
It takes you 5 years.
It takes you years to finish the game.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's super cool.
Wow.
And it's basically like Dungeons and Dragons. Like you're fighting, fighting archers and there are skeletons that attack you and stuff.
Or do you play together?
And you play together and you're working with your friend.
Wow.
And so he and I are like on a team. That's the only thing he doesn't like. He'd rather be trying to kill me.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
it's awesome. So
How many players?
up to 4, I guess.
Okay.
But one person can play. You can have a solo you can just play by yourself.
Wow. Okay.
Because it's all these cards. There's like cards. You're flipping cards. It's like the dice thing, and it's awesome. Anyway, so I got that. But the other thing I got is a looping pedal from my wife.
Ooh,
A guitar pedal.
That's
that-
awesome.
That loops, and so this is the final piece of the puzzle, Jeff.
Interesting. You're gonna
Everything's different.
Your one man show is gonna.
I'm gonna just.
Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins show is about to begin.
That's right. I'm just going to create soundscapes. Jazz Odyssey. Basically.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'm very excited about this.
I have a looping pedal. It's super fun. I haven't mastered it. I got to say, I've played with it many times, and the process of getting my foot coordinated with my hands or what I'm trying to do has never quite worked out for me.
But it takes like a measure at face value, right? Like you stomp and it starts recording, and then
Right.
you stomp again and it repeats, right?
Yeah,
So
that sounds right.
So at the end of the measure, you just have to be not anticipating the one of the next measure too quickly. That's my mistake. Is I'm like, yay, I'm done, and I did it at like 4 and
Right.
on the
Yes.
you
And
know
then
what I
it
mean?
loops. Yeah.
So then
totally.
I'm in some fucking 17/5 time.
Yeah. I have that totally. I have that that experience. And then if you want to like go back and like, then you have to double tap if you want it to not record what you're playing.
And so you can jam over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I get too caught up in my head. I can't do it right. But they're fun. They're super cool.
Just learned. This is the part I'm just learning. Guitar is particularly hard because like you want to lead into a chord. It doesn't start on the downbeat. It starts a little bit before the downbeat. There's some dirty string action. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's hard to make it sound just perfect.
Yeah.
I guess you put the dirty stuff at the end. I don't know. I'm getting in the weeds. But
Yeah,
the point is,
you gotta practice.
I got a little stomp box.
How fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to come to your show, your concert,
Oh, thank you.
your one-man
Well,
show.
it's you'll be involved, Jeffrey, as we all know.
Oh, I hope so. I hope we get to leap into some chalk drawings and have an adventure in the animated world.
And here's what else.
Yeah.
It's really time. I think we need to start playing out as Vorhorst. I've been thinking about this a lot.
Oh my God. It's a dream of mine. It's always been a dream of mine.
I have a costume designer who's ready to make us costumes.
Can we practice? Can we just practice? I just
Yeah.
want to play. I never play. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if we got together and started just like jamming, then like a song would come out of it.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, we
Yes.
should do that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to write everything. I'm done with that. I'm done with that dog and pony show.
Where you write everything?
Oh, I'm just saying I just get too like I have things in my head and then I just get like have to do the thing. Like I feel like the process of jamming and coming up with something out of a jam could be really fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like instead of just like sitting alone and being like, I'm going to come up with every nuance of this song all
right.
by myself.
I'm going to a cabin with a guitar
Yeah.
and a tape recorder.
It's just work. It's just work.
just work.
That's not what we're here for. We're 40-something-year-old men.
Jesus Christ.
It's time to just play.
Sit in this room.
Yeah.
Let's get totally baked.
Yes.
And play music.
Yes,
Put
queen.
the kids on the trampoline.
Yes, queen.
And tell them like there's ice cream in the freezer. Get
Love it.
lost.
Do you want a bigger trampoline? I think we're getting rid of our
No,
trampoline.
we got to get rid of that fucking thing too. You want that one?
No. We could put that trampoline inside our trampoline and have a double-decker trampoline.
That'd be kind of sick.
That would be kind of sick, yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's do fatherly advice.
Fatherly advice, everybody.
Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice. Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice.
Jeff,
Yes.
when everyone else doesn't like a person,
Yeah.
Be the person that does like them.
Ooh, you say that immediately, and I have a very strong example of this person, and it worked to my benefit. It really was. That is a smart thing to be.
Yes, always. We had some. My thoughts go back. My thoughts drift back to when I was in City Year.
Okay.
Which is like an urban Peace Corps.
Yeah.
Where it's 17 to 23-year-olds, they go off. You're put on a team. This is how it was 20 years ago. I don't know if it's still like this now. You're put on a team of diverse individuals, and you go off to do community service full-time for an entire year. You earn scholarships, blah, blah, blah.
And you preach the word of Moses. Not Moses. Joseph Smith.
Oh, yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bike helmets.
Yes.
And there was one team member of mine named Ludney.
Oh, okay.
And he was not on the same wavelength as everybody else.
Sure.
At first.
A little touched, maybe, this guy?
No. No, he was just kind of like, he was there. It was a job he got, and he was there to do a job, but he wasn't all rah.
Yeah.
And everyone else was like fucking subscribed to the magazine, like full on cult members about all this shit. And our team leader didn't really was driven crazy by Ludney, because Ludney wouldn't do the calisthenics with much spirit.
Okay.
It's kind of a cult.
Yeah,
And he
okay.
wouldn't do it, and all this kind of stuff. And so she was really on his case.
Yeah.
And we were all new and getting to know each other, and we wanted the team leader to like us. And so we were like, yeah, what's wrong with Ludney?
Yeah.
And Ludney's name started to be a little bit mud.
And you were in heaven because you were like, someone was telling you what to do.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like, this is exactly what I want out of life.
Yep.
Just direct me.
Just exactly. Point
Okay.
me in a direction and tell me what emotion to have. And but
Yes.
one young woman
Yes.
on my team named Amy, subsequently my girlfriend,
Okay.
loved Ludney.
Okay.
And thought he was hilarious.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And slowly over time, like she would just get such a kick out of this guy.
Uh-huh.
And slowly over time, the rest of us kind of saw in Ludney what she saw in him.
Oh,
and
how
she
about
was
that?
so right, because Ludney was fucking awesome.
Wow.
He was awesome.
Okay.
And he is great. He remains to this day one of my favorite people that I've ever met and walked through.
How about that?
And he's just great.
But he just wasn't he didn't follow he marched to the beat of a different drummer, this guy?
He was just a different fella, know?
Okay.
And Amy taught us all that you're not supposed to fucking just hate who everyone tells you to hate.
Sure.
You should do the opposite.
Yes.
Because it can change an entire stadium full of people the way Bill Burr did in Philadelphia.
Uh-huh. I don't know that story.
Oh,
but
that's
sure.
a great story, but I don't want to extend our night. I'll tell it another time. You could be the person. Profiles in courage. Stand
Yeah.
on your own and be like, no, all of you hate this person. This person is fucking awesome.
Uh-huh.
So everyone go fuck yourselves. Let's be friends, person who is shunned.
Okay.
And the person who is shunned will be like, fuck you. And you're like, you're great.
Right.
And they'll be like, okay, fine.
See, I take this in a little bit of a different I take a little bit of a different tact on this, because like my story was completely self-serving, in that it was, I worked with this woman who was very difficult, and like no one really cared for her, and I was her only friend at work, and I like pursued that relationship and made it successful because I needed her to like be on my team in order to get my shit done.
Oh, why?
And it was great. It worked out very well. And like, I know like her history, like she would tell me like everyone has disliked her entire work career. But she had something, like she was a fucking ball breaker. And I was like, I need that ball breaker to be working with me.
Yeah, I need some
so
balls broken, but I don't want to do the ball breaking myself.
I don't want to do the ball breaking. Exactly. So I suffered through her difficultness, and I made it to the other side and found the beauty within.
It's like Roy Kent. Do you watch the Ted Lasso?
We'll do an episode on Ted Lasso sometime. I'm not a fan.
Oh, okay.
Not a fan.
Well,
Not a fan. That's exactly why I'm not a fan, because people are like, there's something wrong with your soul. Like this cult around Ted Lasso, it just creeps me out.
I know. I find it to be fine. I don't understand why people are
It's
so into
fine.
it.
There you go. It's
I enjoy
fine.
it. I like it. It's fun. It's easy. It's easy listening, but
It's
a TV
fine.
show. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
Roy
so
Kent, is somebody who's like why
he's
touch
the
that guy with
surly guy.
Yeah, and why
Okay.
touch him with a 10-foot pole? But the surly
Yeah.
are often just great human beings.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
And they
Ebenezer
save-
Scrooge
they-
ended
yeah.
up buying a nice turkey for Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
You know?
Once. That
Yeah.
guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and he fucking also he shows up at their house like Bob Cratchit is like, finally I have a day without fucking Scrooge, and he shows up and he's like, hey, I'm gonna party with you guys all day.
I know, and they're like, my son is handicapped, and
Yeah.
we're like, our life is full without you. So
we actually have things going on right now that doesn't Scrooge doesn't always have to be the fucking center of attention.
you'll notice it's quite cold in my house right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's great advice. My advice, I don't know if it's really advice, but this is something I decided that I'm proclaiming that you can take this with you. That the dinner after you return from vacation is still vacation.
Oh.
Don't think that like when you come home from a vacation and you're staring at dinner like coming at you, whatever you got to do to make that easy. Like if you have to spend money, go out and get hamburgers, get a pizza, whatever, you're still on vacation. Don't fucking, you're not done with the vacation just because you're back in your house.
I see what you're saying now. And because your first obligation is now everyone has to fucking eat because you have to do that 3 times a day because
Exactly.
the earth is bullshit
Yes.
because of this fucking 3 times a day thing.
Yes, and we've been like wherever we've been, we've probably been eating out a lot and spending a lot of money. And you're like, I now I'm home and I should just eat the Brussels sprouts that have been sitting there in the refrigerator for 2 weeks.
Right. No, one last hurrah.
Yeah, but no, just forget it. You're done with vacation the next day. Just think
start
about
with
that.
breakfast because it's easy.
Tomorrow is the
don't
end
come
of your
home to a
vacation.
giant project.
Tonight is not the end of your vacation.
Oh,
that's
that's
right.
great. That's
Yes.
great.
Take that take that inside.
The vacation ends at the home sleep.
There you go. Yes, when you wake up the next day in your own bed.
And you're like, okay, now we have a day.
That's fine. Exactly.
Right. And if you come home at 2:00, everyone jump on the couch. Let's watch movies all day for the rest of the day.
Sure.
Vacation isn't over just because we walk through the
Yes,
door.
you don't have to just start working. You don't have to fucking pick up a hammer and start hammering shit in the minute you walk in the door. You know?
Right. Exactly. Why do you have to hammer shit in when you walk through the door, Jeff?
I
What's
don't
going on in
know.
your house?
Maybe there's things like every time we leave, I come back.
Oh,
There's 20 new nails sticking out of them.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know, it's not a well-constructed house. Oh God,
Ah, Jeff.
Brendan. Let me say one last thing. I've been staring at this. Brendan has like a pile of little
Let's call
posable
it a
men.
menage. Let's call it that.
Well, that's what I said. And then this brown thing looks like a big penis jutting out. What am I looking at here?
I know it's torture. It's a torture sculpture.
I see.
I used these guys when I was when I was pre-visualizing my feature film.
I see.
And so they help me sort of plan angles and shots and things like that. They're the little figure drawing statues.
That's right.
The wooden ones.
Yes.
But then that is something, if you ever go into a haberdasher, that knobby thing, the wooden knobby
It's a
thing.
penis. What I'm looking at
It's a
is
four-pronged
wooden
penis.
Yes.
Well, it's a sculpture of a donkey's penis.
I see, yeah.
That is if you're in a haberdasher where they have a bunch of hats on display, this
Yeah.
is a specialized wooden stand for a fedora.
I see.
However, why does Brendan have it? I'll tell you. Because it also holds headphones very well on a desk. So it sits on a desk and you put your headphones on it and then you walk away. So your headphones aren't just laying there like you're a fucking child in college.
Interesting.
But you're a man and you
Right.
have a wooden thing that holds your headphones for you at ear height.
Yes. And now you have a place to put your fedora as well.
Right, exactly. With my neck beard when I'm mining for gold in World of Warcraft.
Sure. Yeah. Or when you come home from maybe a hot swing show or something that you've just gone to see.
And I call Emily Milady all the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, forget my number.
I think we got 2 different people in our heads right now. But
Oh
that's
yeah,
okay.
you have big bad voodoo daddy in your head,
Exactly.
and I have like a neck beard.
Yeah. I think in in the perfect world, those two gentlemen would be the best of friends.
Big bad voodoo neckbeard.
Yeah. All right. I think that's as good a place to end it as any.
As any.
Brendan, I hope that you don't feel as lonely after this discussion as you did before.
Certainly not.
Fantastic. And that's it. We'll be leaving your ears for another week.
I hope you miss us.
Yes, me too. Good night.
It's a weird sign off.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Don't listen to Brendan.